Died. We're live outside City Hall with details.
Plus, Pinehurst City Council members, they chose their new city administrator and how he says he is getting the ball rolling already on plans for city development.
And two Southeast Texas women are sharing their stories and hoping to inspire others during Blindness Awareness Month. 12 News Daybreak starts now. Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. It is 7 o'clock and we have an alert from local fire officials this morning. Most of Southeast Texas, you see it right there on your screen, we are now under a burn ban in just about every county here in our viewing area. The dry conditions mean it's easier for fires to spread, so local officials are asking everyone to be safe and not to burn anything outdoors. We're going to go into more details later in the show, but first let's go ahead and check in with Jeff as we take a live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. About 15 minutes shy of sunrise as we're taking a live look at the Jefferson County Courthouse. Jeff, how's it looking out there?
Nice and quiet. You can see the clear skies out there just like we've seen the last few mornings, and just like the last few mornings we're seeing temperatures in the 50s and 60s out there for this morning. Starting to see more 50s than anything. 55 right now in Orange and also Jasper, 59 in Kirbyville and 57 in Beaumont. 61 now in Silsbee and Port Arthur, and then 65 in Woodville. You can see those clear skies, temperatures showing the middle 60s at Packer-LaPrade in downtown as we look at the Jefferson County Courthouse out there for early on this Wednesday morning. Day planner takes us up into the upper 80s for today. We'll see a high of about 87, 88. A couple of clouds may be developing during the afternoon, but a dry afternoon with a little bit of a northeast to east wind between about 3 and 8 miles per hour. We need some rain. Looks like that's going to come into play as we head towards Friday into Saturday. We'll show our rain coverages coming up in our 7-day forecast.
All right, Jeff. Well, it's sad news this morning out of Port Neches.
Yeah, Jefferson County Judge Jeff Brennick confirms longtime Mayor Glenn Johnson has died after more than 2 decades of service. 12 News reporter Derek Jones is live outside Port Neches City Hall with those details. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Mark and Tia. The Port Neches community is in shock with the mayor serving for 23 years. It was elected back in November of 2002. For those 23 years, Mayor Johnson guided the city through obstacles like hurricanes and the TPC explosion. He also oversaw community projects like Tugboat Island and the city's Splash Park and the ongoing riverfront development. Before being elected, he served as a council member. Johnson was also the chairman of the board for 5 Point Credit Union. Fellow Port Neches resident and county judge Jeff Brennick told us, quote, "He was a genuine and great guy who loved his community and worked very hard to see it thrive. He will be greatly missed." Former Jasper Mayor Anderson Lance served with Johnson on the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission. He also gave a statement to 12 News, writing in part, "He always greeted me with a smile and a handshake. His smile was infectious. He will be truly missed." Funeral arrangements are pending with Mollison Livingston Funeral Home. Owner Craig Mollison confirms Johnson died yesterday at Christus St. Elizabeth Hospital. Again, it's a sad day here in Port Neches, and the community is mourning, and we're still trying to get answers on the cause of death. As always, we'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Reporting in Port Neches, Derek Jones, 12 News.
Thank you so much, Derek. And Pinehurst City Council members voted to officially hire Robbie Hood as the new city administrator last night. He's been serving as interim since last month when former interim admin and police chief Stephen Stroud was suspended. The council also accepted Stroud's resignation. He's accused of union busting tactics and potential conflicts of interest while serving in both roles.
Yeah, but we did speak to Hood after last night's meeting, and he says that he's already getting the ball rolling when it comes to city development.
Tonight we created a reinvestment zone that we're going to bring back before council, and that will help the city of Pinehurst attract businesses to our community by doing tax abatements and perhaps sales tax reallocations.
And Hood says that the city is still accepting applications for that police chief role. And this morning, that fallout from the federal government shutdown, it can be felt across the country.
From airports to federal agencies, Americans are feeling the impact as Republicans and Democrats remain deadlocked on how to fund the government. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
This morning, the fallout is growing from the government shutdown as Republicans and Democrats remain at a standstill. It comes as President Trump met with Argentina's president Tuesday at the White House to announce a $20 billion bailout. Democrats slamming the administration, saying the U.S. has $20 billion in taxpayer funds for Argentina, but not for lowering health care costs for millions of Americans.
The overwhelming majority of Americans say we need help with our health care, and they're busy spending $20 billion because Trump seems to really like the leader of Argentina.
But Republicans pointing the blame for the shutdown on Democrats.
Democrats have made demands, and by the way, very expensive demands, and they've taken government funding hostage.
The White House has already fired more than 4,000 federal workers since the shutdown began. Now the president is threatening to lay off even more and dismantle programs favored by Democrats.
The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we were opposed to.
But Democrats say the Republicans have already been cutting programs since Trump returned to office.
The fact that they're celebrating firing hardworking federal employees doesn't strengthen their position with the American people. It weakens it.
The shutdown also causing controversy at major airports across the country. Many are refusing to play Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's video, blaming Democrats for the shutdown, citing the Federal Hatch Act, which prohibits political activity. This as federal employees face the growing uncertainty of working without pay.
Not knowing exactly how I'm going to have childcare for my kids or put gas in the car or pay the next mortgage payment adds a certain level of stress onto an already stressful profession.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, 5 major broadcast networks are cleared out of the Pentagon. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, and Fox News released a joint statement saying they won't sign a new Pentagon press policy. They say it would restrict journalists from keeping, quote, the nation and the world informed. The news organizations were given 24 hours to turn in their Pentagon press credentials and clear out their offices in the building.
Well, back here at home, if you want to apply for college, this is definitely the week to do it. Lamar and other public Texas universities, they are waiving their application fees. Lawmakers passed a bill during the legislative session to get rid of the fees, and it's typically $25 to apply at Lamar, but for other state public universities, it could be up to $150. Deidre Mayer with admissions and aid at Lamar says that this is a great opportunity.
So this allows students that may not have any other means to apply for universities and colleges a way to have an opportunity to do that for free.
And LU will post on social media when other free admission opportunities come up.
Speaking of Lamar, homecoming week continues for students and staff today. The Higher A Cardinal Career Fair is from 11 to 3 at the Montaigne Center. Then LU's softball team will play San Jacinto College at 5 at the softball complex. The coaches show is from 7 to 8 on the patio at the rec center, and it's from 8 to 10. And from 8 to 10, it's the NPHC Hump Night at the Setzer Center atrium.
October marks Blindness Awareness Month, a time to recognize the experiences, strength, and challenges of those living with visual impairments. And according to the CDC, about 7 million people in the U.S. have vision impairments.
Of those, 1 million are living with blindness. 12 News reporter Spencer Plato spoke with 2 Southeast Texas women, sharing their stories and hoping to help others.
It is life still after blindness, and that motivated me.
Melissa Jackson's life changed when she was 30.
Well, I have a hereditary eye condition that is called retinitis pigmentosa. I recently found out the specific gene mutation I have. I have Usher's 2A, which means I am legally blind and I'm hearing impaired.
Now, through her social media platform, she's sharing her story and life with her seeing eye dog with thousands of followers.
And I let them share their stories because when people look at blindness, they think you're in the house, you're not working, you don't go to the gym, you're sad and you're depressed. You know, all the stereotypes that they have, but that is far from the truth.
Jackson says she's a proud member of the National Federation of the Blind.
They give you life. They let you know it's not over, it's just beginning.
Jackson's friend Hattie Harmison says that's the goal of her organization, Extraordinary Vision.
See people that live like them, you know, and not let their vision loss stop them that they can see that, hey, I can go to school, I can work, I can do whatever I want to do. I can learn how to live independently and stronger and bolder.
Harmison is hosting her third White Cane Walk to help spread awareness.
We're not sitting on the couch, we're out and we're about. You know, we're doing what everyone else is doing. We might be doing a little different, might be, you know, it might take us a little bit more time, but we're getting it done.
But both women hope their stories break down stereotypes.
Blindness is just not one thing. They have so many different eye conditions, so many different spectrums of blindness. And everybody think blindness means total darkness. And that is so far from the truth.
And there are two big events today in Southeast Texas for White Cane Safety Awareness Day. There's the Walk for Independence at Parkdale Mall at 10 and a Stand Tall Together and Observance event in Port Arthur. That's on Proctor Street at 3 p.m. Join me this Saturday for Tia's Tales at the Elmo Willard Library in Beaumont from 10 to 11. I'll read to your kids and we'll do some arts and crafts. Everyone is welcome. Up next, as you search for some good deals this Halloween, be careful the scams that could cost you in the long run. And still ahead, Beaumont Police Chief Tim Oknashek is in studio to talk Halloween safety.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I wouldn't say that I was like a partier, but I would say that I was a social butterfly. So we would just always drink. That night, I went through a red light and I T-boned another vehicle. And I just remember thinking like, oh no. Right after the DWI, I lost my license and I did 30 days in jail. I could have killed him because I decided to be reckless. I have a ton of regrets. I'm Katie. 5 years ago, I got a DWI and I'm still paying for it every day.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn here with one of the most important hurricane tips, having an evacuation plan. First, gather food, water, and medicine before storing it in an emergency kit. Plan well in advance where you're going, how you'll get there, and if you'll need to transport any pets, small children, or the elderly. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
All right, welcome back. This Halloween, there are some hidden dangers that pet owners need to be aware of. Certain treats can be harmful and even deadly for our furry friends. Chocolate, sugary candies, and raisins are toxic, especially to dogs and cats, and they can cause serious health issues like kidney failure. So keep all candy out of reach, and if you're out trick-or-treating, it's safe to leave those pets at home. Costumes and crowds can cause stress or panic. Just make sure they're wearing a collar in case they slip out the door. And when searching for deals this Halloween, be careful. It's a good time for scammers to try to take your money. Megan Bragg verifies which deals might cost you in the long run.
When scrolling through costume sites like this one, you can see that adult costumes range anywhere from $400 to $25. You may want to look for cheaper outfits, but beware, there are some deals that are too good to be true. So let's verify.
Our sources, Juliana Rourke with the Charlotte Better Business Bureau and the National Retail Federation. According to the National Retail Federation, Halloween spending is expected to reach a record of $13 billion. As many are trying to find deals online, O'Rourke says be careful where you look.
Every holiday, it doesn't even matter what the holiday is, scammers lurk out of the woodwork, but they live on social media. They love serving these ads.
You've probably seen those spooky good deals haunting your social media feed, offers that seem too good to be true. But there are ways to tell which ones are a real treat.
If there's images on that page, which of course there's going to be, reverse search on Google to see where else those images are appearing. And if the price seems too good to be true, it's probably because it is.
O'Rourke says check the website. Make sure it starts with HTTPS. Look for any misspellings or funky wording. There are also tools you can use to spot a scam. A rule of thumb is to always use a credit card because you can report fraud on that card. And if you're trying to save money, see what you already own.
Just look around your house to see what you might already have. Check a thrift store, get an idea and see how maybe you could build it, or even potentially swap costumes with a friend.
With your Verify, I'm Megan Brown.
Good Wednesday morning. It's another morning where you might want a lightweight jacket, as we're seeing some middle to upper 50s in some locations across southeast Texas. 55 right now in Orange, also 55 in Jasper, 59 in Kirbyville, 57 in Beaumont. There are some 60s, but lower 60s, 61 in Silsbee, 61 in Port Arthur, and then I guess you can say Woodville's in the middle 60s there at about 65. Outside, we've been seeing clear skies again this morning. Here's the view from the Horseman's Western Store over in Orange, and traffic's going along smoothly there on I-10. Our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network currently showing 63 degrees in Orange. North winds at 4 and humidity around 82%. It is quiet not only here, but a good portion of the Deep South not seeing any active weather. No rain on the radars through Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama. Very quiet start on this Wednesday morning. Texas seeing a little bit of cloud cover out towards El Paso, but that's about it. We'll see sunny skies to start off your day. Temperatures climbing up into the lower 70s by mid-morning, a lower to middle 80s as we head towards the lunch hour, and then as we get into the afternoon, expecting highs a little warmer than this, maybe about 87, 88, and we'll deal with a couple of clouds here and there. No rain in the forecast. Back into the 70s this evening, and then we'll see those 60s again return for tomorrow morning. A mix of some lower 60s and upper 50s as we head into, it looks like, your Thursday morning. So our forecast for today, mostly sunny. Those northeasterly winds continue between about 3 and 8 miles an hour, and highs today anywhere from say 87 to about 88 degrees. For tonight, we back off into the lower 60s for most of the area. I think the lakes area could see more 58, 59 readings. We're talking about places like Newton, Burkeville, maybe Jasper into the upper 50s tomorrow morning. Generally mostly clear skies, and those northeasterly winds staying very light and maybe turning a little bit variable for tomorrow morning with some calm winds at times. Our 7-day forecast showing highs in the upper 80s again on Thursday. Tomorrow's much like today. And then Friday, we start to bring in a little bit more thicker clouds and a 20% chance of an isolated shower as a weak weather system kind of loses its punch right over top of us. So we only go 20%. Saturday, we have a cold front coming through. With that, we'll go 40% coverage of scattered showers, maybe a few thunderstorms, especially late in the day, if not Saturday evening. And then things should clear out for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We'll still see highs well up into the 80s, and morning lows will bounce from the upper 60s to lower 60s back to the middle 60s.
All right, Jeff, and just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. And this morning, we're looking ahead to Halloween, which is coming up in just a little over 2 weeks. And while there is plenty of fun to be had, the holiday can come with certain obstacles, and that's why Beaumont Police Chief Tim Ognischek, he is joining us this morning for his monthly chat with the chief to talk about trick-or-treat, traffic safety, and much more. How you doing, Chief?
Great, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing well. So Halloween, I'm sure, can be a little busy for law enforcement, and it's falling on a Friday this year, so it could be even a little bit more busy. What are the big concerns for law enforcement for this holiday?
Well, anytime you have an event like this, you end up with a lot of kids darting out in the street, crossing the street, looking for the best haul of candy. Mm-hmm. And so we're really urging drivers to be extra careful, urging parents to stay with their kids. If you're offering candy, make sure it's individually wrapped. Don't give out little small toy items to little teeny kids worried about choking. Make sure your porches are well lit if you're going to hand out candy and your access is clear. you know, maybe even used an organized event. If you don't know the neighbors or they're not your immediate neighbors or down somebody in an area that you know, there's a lot of organized events out there that'll be trunk or treats that are protected, and the police department's hosting yet another cops and kids genre of events. And we're having trunk or treat at the police department downtown Beaumont on the 26th, which is Sunday from 2 to 5. That's a great event for kids to come up, and they really get good candy.
That's really good. I mean, especially if maybe you live in an apartment complex or something like that and just don't feel like it's the best place to take them trick-or-treating and you're not quite sure where to take them trick-or-treating. You got that event the Sunday before, and there's some other events probably happening around town as always, which could also serve as other good events for them to go to as well, churches and things like that. Right. Talk about traffic safety a little bit, because you really got to be careful when you're out there, and I'm sure there's also a little aspect of drinking and driving as well. A lot of adults love to partake in Halloween, dress up and whatnot, so what should people be looking out for? What type of enforcement could we expect to see out there?
Well, there'll be a lot of officers out there, some in marked and unmarked vehicles. We urge the drivers to just be careful, drive slower than normal. It's likely that you'll have trouble seeing the kids. They're not going to be crossing just at street crossings, and they might dart out in front of you while they're looking for their next place to go. And so, you know, the drivers, the less they have to move around on the neighborhood streets, the better. Drive slowly. Hopefully people will pay attention and stay safe. It's been a safe event the last few years, and we're hoping to continue that trend.
Any caution to parents about costumes? I mean, how dark or bright they might be? Anything about masks or anything like that?
I don't really hear any issues with masks. I mean, or any special issues. We have been rewarding to see a lot more kids dressed up as police officers, so we're always excited about that. But you know, hopefully people will have good fun and be safe. Absolutely.
One more time, tell them about the trunk or treat event that you have going on at the police station the Sunday before.
Yes, Sunday the 26th from 2 to 5, 255 College in downtown Beaumont.
Okay, excellent. Sounds like a great event. Thank you so much, Chief, once again for joining us, and we'll check in with you next month.
Thank you for having me.
All right. And it is now 7:22. Jeff, he's going to be back with another look at your forecast as we take a live look here above Lake Charles on our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. You're watching Daybreak on 12 News Plus. We'll be right back.
This is a tornado on the ground.
And the roads are slippery.
We have a tropical storm warning.
Look at this water.
Street flooding in Beaumont.
It is going to get extremely cold.
The metal building blew away from a business.
Staying safe behind the wheel is imperative.
Find a safe spot, move to an interior room.
Just make sure you're staying safe.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
409 Sports. To us, it's about so much more than a highlight, wins or losses.
It's the heart that makes up the game, the triumph of the human spirit.
It's agony and victory, diehards and day ones. It can divide or unify a community.
We give you the stats, but then we inspire you with the stories. The unpredictable, unforgettable, and incomparable.
We bring it to you all because sports lives in the 409.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan, kind, courteous, and safe.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip. Stay connected. Sign up for free emergency alerts from your local county and plan on to monitor the latest local weather and news at 12newsnow.com. Being aware of any new information will be invaluable. And finally, know the types of alerts you may receive. A watch means be prepared, while a warning means act. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Welcome back. Well, today you can meet Democrat and State Representative James Tallarico in Beaumont as he makes a stop on the campaign trail.
He's running for a U.S. Senate. You'll be able to hear him speak about his fight against what he calls big money and corruption in Washington. You can also learn how to get involved and grab some campaign merch. The rally will be at the Steelworkers Union Hall on 11th Street from 6:30 to 9 p.m. There will be security on site, and afterward you'll get the chance to meet him personally.
At the bus stop this morning, just nice and mild. Temperatures in the lower 60s and upper 50s. Warm and dry as you make your way out towards recess, and very warm as you make your way home. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s for today. Along the coast, a northeasterly wind at 10 to 15 knots brings seas to around 2 feet today. Only one high tide, and that was way early this morning, 124. Won't be another high tide the rest of the day. Our sunset is at 6:45. Our sunrise was at 7:19. You see northeasterly winds now at Texas Point. Water temperature in the middle 80s. Look for a light chop on the inland lakes and bays for today.
All right, and coming up here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, residents in Port Neches there in mourning after learning that their longtime mayor Glenn Johnson has died. We are live outside of City Hall with the details.
Plus, disturbing details in a Beaumont kidnapping. What court documents are revealing about what happened inside a motel room.
And Texas National Guard troops, they're returning from Illinois after receiving intense criticism online. The standards they reportedly didn't meet as the chaos ensues on the streets of Chicago. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson at 7:30. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning. Mauriceville was sentenced to probation after pleading guilty to assault on a peace officer. She and Jameisha Butler were arrested in January after a disturbance in the Little Woodrow's parking lot. We have the video. It may be hard to watch. While trying to stop Butler from driving off, the officer jumped on the back of the car. He fell off and hurt his head. We're working to learn when Butler will go on trial for her charges.
Southeast Texas, man wanted on child sex abuse charges now in custody. Newton County deputies and U.S. Marshals, they arrested 40-year-old Brian Henry yesterday at home off of County Road 4173. Now, he was wanted out of Jefferson County for 2 counts of continuous sexual abuse of a child under the age of 14. Investigators say that he gave one victim birth control, alcohol, and pills.
A new game room ordinance is in effect in Jasper. 8 lighter machines are banned within city limits. The city says it's now illegal to own and operate these machines, so starting this week, you can get a violation. Jasper is one of the many Southeast Texas cities and counties banning the machines. All right, it's 7:30, and it is time, actually 7:31, still time to check in with meteorologist Jeff Gerber. The cool temps, does that mean you could possibly get sick, cold, allergies, anything happening right now?
Some sniffles?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean you don't get sick from the weather. You actually get sick from contact with other people. When it gets cooler, people usually kind of get together a little bit more, and that's where you get sick from. It's not actually the weather itself.
Good to know.
So
we'll keep our distance
just
from
to
Jeff
let you
in
know.
that case.
No. So if you've been by anybody that's sick, you're probably going to get sick.
Oh, no.
What about just sick of someone?
Well, that happens to me every morning. All right, here we go. Here we go. Temperatures right now, 55 right now in Jasper. You need a jacket up there. 58 in Kirbyville, 57 in Beaumont, 55 in Orange, 61 in Port Arthur and Silsbee, and 65 in Woodville. Outside, we have clear skies, expecting to see maybe a few clouds today, but no rain in our forecast. Highs going to be jumping up into the upper 80s today, a little bit of a northeasterly wind. Looks like a good day. Hopefully we'll get some rain maybe this weekend. We'll look at that coming up in just a bit.
We're following sad news out of Port Neches this morning.
Yeah, Jefferson County Judge Jeff Brannick confirms that longtime Mayor Glenn Johnson has died after more than 2 decades of public service. And 12 News reporter Derek Jones, he's live outside of Port Neches City Hall with the details. Good morning, Derek.
Good morning, Mark and Tia. The Port Neches community is in shock after Johnson served the community for 23 years after being elected in November of 2002. For those 23 years, Mayor Johnson guided the city through obstacles like hurricanes and the TPC explosion. He also oversaw community projects like Tugboat Island and the city's splash park and the ongoing riverfront development. Before being elected, he served as a council member. Johnson was also the chairman of the board for 5 Point Credit Union. Fellow Port Neches resident and county judge Jeff Brannick told us, quote, "He was genuinely a great guy who loved his community and worked very hard to see it thrive. He will be greatly missed." Former Jasper Mayor Anderson Laird served with Johnson on the Southeast Texas Regional Planning Commission. He also gave a statement to 12 News, writing in part, "He always greeted me with a smile and a handshake. His smile was infectious. He will be truly missed." Funeral arrangements are pending with Molashan Livingston Funeral Home. Owner Craig Molashan confirms Johnson died yesterday at Christus St. Elizabeth Hospital. Again, the community here in Port Neches is mourning the loss, and right now we're trying to learn the cause of death. We do not have that information at this time, but we'll keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. Reporting in Port Neches, Derek Jones, 12 News.
All right, Derek, let's go ahead and move to Pinehurst now, where the city council members there voted to officially hire Robbie Hood as the city's new administrator. That's all happening last night. Now, he has been serving in that role as interim since last month when the former interim administrator, who was also the police chief, Stephen Stroud, was suspended. Council members also accepting Stroud's resignation last night. Now, he was accused of union-busting tactics and potential conflicts of interest while serving in both those roles. That's why the council suspended him. Now, we did speak to that new city administrator Hood last night after the meeting, and he says that he's already getting the ball rolling when it comes to city development.
Tonight we created a reinvestment zone that we're going to bring back before council, and that will help the city of Pinehurst attract businesses to our community by doing tax abatements and perhaps sales tax reallocations.
Hood says the city is still accepting applications for the police chief role.
A Port Arthur man has been sentenced to 10 years probation for an armed robbery. 18-year-old Ryan Briones pled guilty to 2 counts of aggravated robbery. Police say back in July, he and another suspect met up with 2 teens who were trying to sell a PlayStation 5 at an apartment complex in Port Neches. Court documents show one of the suspects pulled out a gun and took off with the gaming console. Briones also has to pay a $500 fine.
Nederland police say that a suspect stole thousands of dollars from a man's car in a jugging incident, and that is when someone is burglarized or robbed after leaving an ATM. Now, that victim withdrew money from the 5 Point Credit Union and went to a business on Nederland Avenue. He left that money in the center console, but when he came back, his window was smashed and that money is gone. Chief Rod Carroll says police believe that suspect is in a silver SUV with dark rims, so if you have any information, call police.
Court documents are revealing more about a woman's harrowing experience during a Beaumont kidnapping. Police say last Friday, the 35-year-old was forcibly taken from a room at the Deluxe Inn on College Street. Officers released these surveillance images of 2 men taking her to a car. Police say she was then taken to an apartment complex in the North End. While in captivity, she told police she was tied up and beaten repeatedly with a gun. Her family and friends were also sent ransom videos of the victim saying she'd be killed if they didn't send the money. Police later tracked her down and arrested DeMarcus Brown, William Gardner, and Kendra Petrie. They're all in the Jefferson County Jail, charged with aggravated kidnapping and being held on $1 million bonds.
Well, some members of the Texas National Guard who were deployed to Illinois, they're back home now after being removed and replaced over not meeting certain standards. It comes after photos of them here popped up online last week, and people didn't hold back commenting on their appearance. Now, the Texas Military Department, they wouldn't specify which standards the soldiers did not meet, but according to the military outlet Task and Purpose, it had to do with the fitness and uniform weight of uniform weight standards. KVUE's Daniel Peralt explains.
Viral photos showing Texas National Guard troops arriving in the Chicago area.
The height and weight standards and the physical fitness requirements are well known, well published. Everybody's aware of them.
During the pre-mission validation process, which is common in the military, the Texas Military Department says the National Guard identified and replaced 7 of the 200 deployed Texas Guard members who didn't meet the mission requirements. Retired Major General Bo Young says soldiers and airmen are required to meet service-specific height, weight, and physical fitness standards at all times.
The standards are there for a good reason, to make sure that people can deploy, that they'll be in the proper physical condition when they get there, and they're able to withstand some pretty punishing environments.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth praising the move, writing on social media, standards are back at the Department of War, echoing comments he made on fitness to top military leaders last month.
It's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops.
Young says being overweight is not an immediate disqualifier.
You can actually deploy and be overweight, provided you're on the Army's overweight program and you're making progress.
The troops are not currently conducting operational activities. A judge has ruled they can stay in Illinois, but can't be deployed to protect federal buildings and personnel. Instead, a spokesperson for U.S. Northern Command says they're planning and training at their base, an Army Reserve station southwest of Chicago.
It's really up to the first line leaders then to make the best use of that time. If I was in charge of that, we would be looking at different options for how we would deploy throughout Chicago.
Military leaders not providing any other details or saying if the troops will stay in Chicago as the legal challenges play out. Questions continuing to swirl as the deployment enters week 2.
And that was Daniel Peralt reporting. The Texas Guard has been mobilized for an initial period of up to 60 days.
Meanwhile, tensions are growing over immigration raids being carried out by the Trump administration. The Department of Homeland Security put out a disturbing report on the threats agents and their families received. It comes amid new reports of violence on the streets of Chicago. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details.
This is the crash that led to a chaotic confrontation between residents and federal officers on Chicago's east side. Homeland Homeland Security officials say an undocumented immigrant inside an SUV tried to flee from being arrested and rammed into a Border Patrol vehicle. A chase followed, with agents then crashing into the SUV to stop it. 2 people fled on foot but were eventually arrested. Residents nearby gathering at the scene, the crowd growing hostile, throwing eggs at federal agents, then rocks. Agents responding by firing tear gas. Several people were arrested.
There's absolutely no reason to have this kind of chaos happening in our communities, putting people at risk, putting people in harm's way, and just exacerbating the fear that people feel right now.
The confrontation is the latest to highlight the growing security risk for federal officers. Homeland Security says Mexican cartels are now offering cash bounties targeting ICE officers and other agents. They say cartels are offering $2,000 for gathering intelligence on federal officials and their families, $5,000 to $10,000 for kidnapping or non-lethal assaults, and up to $50,000 for the assassination of high-ranking officials.
We're not backing down. We will keep going. We will continue to enforce the rule of law. President Trump and Secretary Noem are going to give our law enforcement the resources they need to succeed and clean up America's streets.
President Trump says his crackdown on crime in Democratic-led cities is working.
Chicago, we've already made a lot of progress despite fighting from the government, but Chicago's doing great.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Los Angeles County has now declared a state of emergency over these ICE raids. It's allowing local officials to fast-track relief funding for affected families, workers, and small businesses.
All right, before we head to break, the Port Arthur annual Fall Job Fair is happening today at the Bob Bauer Civic Center. That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Job seekers, they can meet directly with employers from across Southeast Texas for on-site interviews, resume help, and career resources. Coming up next on Daybreak on 12 News Plus, another failed vote in the U.S. Senate. The bill that didn't pass yesterday as the federal government shutdown continues, and still ahead, abnormally dry conditions. They are fueling the wildfire risk across Southeast Texas. Officials sharing tips to help prevent fires before they start.
When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
Lamar is working to protect Power City from hackers,
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts direct from inside sources.
ExxonMobil and lawyers for the United Steelworkers
Taking on the story from all sides.
The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection last year.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, don't mess with Texas, means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
It's hard to really come to terms with dementia. There are little things that you can't even begin to plan for that happen that you need the early diagnosis for. My mom has done so much for me. There's no way that I wouldn't do the same for her. It's so important to have the conversation with your doctor earlier because you just do not know what the future holds.
We begin with breaking news in Port Neches.
Firefighters continue attacking the flames from the air.
We're working to learn more about a police chase.
We'll give you a live look at the scene tonight. Our crew there.
A chase in Port Neches turned into a standoff.
So we're working to get you more information.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
I'm meteorologist Kerry Cooper here with another hurricane tip, evacuating correctly. If local authorities advise you to evacuate, do so immediately and without delay. Bring your emergency kit and be sure to follow evacuation routes. Do not try to take shortcuts because they may be blocked. Also remember to eat and get enough sleep for you to deal with whatever stress that may come your way. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
Now to the latest in the government shutdown for the 8th time yesterday. The Senate rejected the House-passed government funding bill. No lawmakers on either side of the aisle switched their votes Democrats continue to hold out for more health care benefits, but Republicans aren't willing to give in. We're now at day 15 of this shutdown, making it the 5th longest in U.S. history. Meanwhile, 5 major broadcast networks are cleared out of the Pentagon. NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, and Fox News released a joint statement saying they won't sign a new Pentagon press policy. They say it would restrict journalists from keeping, quote, the nation and the world informed. The news organizations were given 24 hours to turn in their Pentagon press credentials and clear out their offices in the building.
Pretty nice out there this morning, nice and cool in some spots. You might even need a lightweight jacket. Places like here in Beaumont, Orange, 55, Beaumont's at 56, 55 in Jasper, 58 in Kirbyville. Then lower 60s in Silsbee at 61, 61 in Port Arthur, and then Woodville currently showing a temperature of about 65. Here's what it looks like right outside our door here at the 12 News studios, and we can see I-10's going along pretty smoothly. There's always a little backup over towards Washington Boulevard over there, and you can see it's a little bit backed up with construction, but not too bad, going along smoothly, at least a little bit more smoothly than most mornings, so not looking bad out there. You can see mostly clear skies on our Roofing 911 Live SkyCam network. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. Looking across the state, pretty quiet, not much going on, mostly clear skies. Don't even see anything on radar. We have a couple of clouds towards El Paso. That's about the only active weather there across Texas this morning. Our futurecast takes us from the lower 60s to the lower 70s as we head towards mid-morning, and then around lunchtime we'll be up into the 80s. We continue to climb into the upper 80s for this afternoon, 88, 87, somewhere in that range, and then we'll drop off into the 60s as we head towards this evening. And then late in the evening into the overnight, we'll see those 60s return. And we'll see, I think, a mix of 60s and 50s again for tomorrow morning to start off on your Thursday. So our forecast reads like this for today. We'll go mostly sunny skies. Temperatures there into the upper 80s. Northeasterly winds at about 3 to 8. Of course, no rain is expected. As we head towards tonight, temperatures dropping off into the 60s for the most part. We'll see some upper 50s thrown in here and there. And we'll see a little bit of that northeasterly wind once again becoming fairly light, if not some calm winds towards tomorrow morning. Thursday, much like today, we'll be in the upper 80s after lows into the middle to lower 60s. And then on Friday, about a 20% chance of a couple of showers popping up. We have a weak disturbance that's going to kind of die down over the area. And we'll go 20% there, but then shoot up to 40% on Saturday. This will be a cold front coming through the area. And with that front, we might see a quarter of an inch, half an inch in some spots. With some showers or maybe a few thunderstorms. After the front, we start to dry out again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, forecast looks dry, plenty of sunshine, and temperatures anywhere from middle to upper 80s, and those morning lows falling back down into the 60s. Well, I didn't even see some lower 60s on Monday. Monday morning might be a little bit cool, kind of like this morning with a lot of 50s and just a few lower 60s around the triangle.
That looks all good, Jeff, but where's your green?
I'm not going to the prom like you all are going. We need a prom picture.
We do.
Post on social media. You know how you kind of both stand and look at it both in the same direction?
Slightly awkward, yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be perfect.
You could be our photographer. We could stage this.
I'll do it. I'll take a picture.
No, we need you to be taking up, we need a picture of you taking a picture of us. So we need to dress you up like a prom photographer.
Just getting complicated.
No, we're not. We got to get all of our talent in this.
Well, then I will be out of the picture.
All right.
What you
looking at me for?
Talent less. Talent more, talent less.
Senior talent, Jeff Gerber. Thank you, Jeff.
Whatever.
Just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on Jeff's weather forecast. And you can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. In Jeff, we trust.
This morning, all of southeast Texas is under a burn ban. Dry conditions and minimal rain chances are increasing the risk of fires across the region. The Beech Grove VFD has been fighting these fires nonstop for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, Fire Chief James Gunter, he told our 12 News reporter Cameron Burchett why he is worried about current conditions.
I'm in Jasper County along Highway 63 where a grass fire torched 2 acres. It's still being watched for hotspots. It happened just a day before a burn ban was issued.
And if you don't hit it hard and you don't hit it fast, it's going to get out of hand on you real quick.
With no rain in sight, dry conditions, northeastern winds, and low humidity create the perfect recipe for disaster. Fire Chief James Gunter with Beech Grove VFD said conditions this week remind him of the same conditions before the massive Sherwood Creek fire.
We're getting to that same level we were at in 2023. We've been a prolonged period now without rain.
Jasper County Precinct 1 Commissioner Seth Martindale remembers the fire all too well.
That was my first wildfire, Sherwood Creek. We had state resources, we had planes in the air, we had helicopters in the air, and had that not been the case, I don't know that we could have stopped it.
He says the county has been proactive by utilizing wildfire mitigation on the sides of county roads.
We're clearing the low-hanging brush, we're getting the dry vegetation out. If we're able to mitigate that debris, get rid of it before the fire gets there or before it ignites, then we have more time for our volunteer firefighters to respond.
Another way to mitigate future fires is to monitor old burn piles, done before the burn ban was issued.
We've seen fires that were from burn piles 4, 5, 6 days old that have started, that have spread when people were not home, people that were trying to burn their debris piles before the burn ban. Those are probably still smoldering this morning.
Chief Gunter says the best thing residents can do is be vigilant.
Get involved, because it could be your house that burns down from somebody else's carelessness, neglect, or intentional act.
Commissioner Martindale says no one should burn anything outside unless they want a ticket. In Jasper, Cameron Burchett, 12 News.
All right, Daybreak, we're giving away one lucky winner a chance to win 4 tickets to the Symphony of Southeast Texas, the October 25th show. That's going to be at the Julie Rogers Theater, downtown Beaumont. They're going to have music and acrobatics. It's going to be a good show. You're going to have until 6:30 a.m. this Friday to enter into this contest. Just go to 12newsnow.com/contest. We're going to announce the winner on Friday at the end of the 6 a.m. hour, and then we're going to mail those tickets off to the lucky winner. Best wishes to everyone. And when Daybreak returns here on 12 News Plus, we're going to have more news and weather in your morning rush out. Your time now 7:52.
As tropical activity picks up in the Gulf, 12 News is your hurricane headquarters. Get prepared before a storm hits. Watch the 12 News Hurricane Special, streaming on 12 News Plus. From the must-haves in your supply kit to the evacuation routes you'll need to take, plus safety tips and how you can protect yourself from storm scammers. The 12 News Hurricane Special, keeping you prepared. Sponsored by Entergy. We power life.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
The impact killed my dad and brother instantly. A man, after drinking excessively with his co-workers, ran a stop sign, T-boned my parents' Honda, and destroyed our family. He could have just said, hey, I'm not okay. There's Lyft, there's Uber, there's taxis. There's so many other options. Every day, someone else can be taken away.
The STEM fields are providing opportunity to be part of the developments that will shape the future, and the Army National Guard is at the forefront of the movement. Soldiers can serve part-time and choose from dozens of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics jobs, working with cutting-edge technology and innovations. And the skills and experience they receive can open doors for them to civilian careers in the STEM world. Join a team that is taking the lead in STEM by talking to a local recruiter or by going to nationalguard.com/careers.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Patrick Vaughn, here with some hurricane tips for protecting yourself against flooding. Take shelter in a designated storm shelter or an interior room and stay away from glass windows of doors. And if flooding begins, move to higher ground immediately. Never walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Remember, turn around, don't drown. For more hurricane tips, go to 12newsnow.com/hurricane.
Sponsored by Entergy.
Welcome back to Daybreak, 7:54 right now. That means it's time for your morning rush out.
Here's everything you need to know as you start your day. Longtime Port Neches Mayor Glenn Johnson died yesterday. For 23 years, he guided the city through obstacles like hurricanes and the TPC explosion and oversaw community projects. Before being elected, he served as a council member. He was also the chairman of the board for Five Point Credit Union. Funeral arrangements are pending.
Pinehurst City Council, they voted officially to hire Robbie Hood as their new city administrator last night. He's been serving as the interim since last month. That's when the former interim administrator, who was also serving as the police chief, Stephen Stroud, was suspended by the council. Now, Hood says that the city is still accepting applications for the police chief role.
You can meet State Rep James Tallarico today in Beaumont as he makes a stop on the campaign trail. He's running for U.S. Senate. The rally will be at the Steelworkers Union Hall on 11th Street from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Afterward, you'll get the chance to meet him personally. You can learn how to get involved and grab some campaign merch.
Another day where we see dry weather and very warm weather. Temperatures in the upper 80s today. Tomorrow, same type of day. Then we'll see changes, at least for a couple of days. We'll see a couple of showers possibly on Friday. And then as we get into, looks like Saturday, that's our best chance of rain. Some scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm here or there as a front comes through late Saturday into the evening. And then Sunday and Monday, Tuesday, we'll dry it out again with highs still into the middle to upper 80s.
Join me for Tia's Tales Saturday at the Elmo Willard Library in Beaumont from 10 to 11. I'll read to your kids. We'll do some arts and crafts. Everyone is welcome.
And here's a reason to smile this morning. Last week, we told you about Ryan DeWitt, who committed to running 7 marathons in honor of his daughter, Molly. She was among those lost in the floodwaters at Camp Mystic on July 4th. Well, he and his friends, they just finished the Chicago Marathon in 3 hours and 37 minutes. He is raising funds for Heavens 27. That's the organization in honor of the Camp Mystic victims. Keep on going, Ryan.
3 hours and 37 minutes. Wow.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't even do a half marathon myself.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job there, Ryan. And thanks for watching Daybreak here on 12 News Plus.
We'll be back at 11 a.m.
Have a great day, everybody.